Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host, and this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk about the characters and creators, and then examine the stories and the art. Well, this time, it's not comic books, it's books of comics. Well, comic characters. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Justice League, the animated series. And there was a series of junior novels based on the Justice League, the animated series. From what I understand, there were 7 volumes to that over 2 years. I have 7 books here, but that's 2 copies of this one. So I am missing one. I've never seen the other one anywhere. So I have 6 of the 7. Now, the Justice League and the animated series, it ran for 2 seasons under that name. And it premiered in November, or on the Cartoon Network in November 2001, and ran for 2 seasons through May of 2004 for a total of 52 episodes. Then after those 2 seasons, it became Justice League Unlimited, and they, as far as I know, they had no tie-in novels to that, and that ran for 3 seasons. And it was the first series for the Cartoon Network produced by Warner Brothers Animation. And in a way, it was a prequel to the Batman Beyond. And it was produced by Bruce Timm, who had previously produced Batman the Animated Series and all its iterations, and the Superman the Animated Series. And there were 7 titles of tie-in novels, and most of them were written by Michael Teitelbaum, and he wrote this one here. This is the only one that's based on a script. It's Secret Origins, which was the basically the pilot movie for it. It was what, 2 or 3 episodes? I can't remember which was the origins. It was that the alien menace, which brought all these heroes together. John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, had just come from Mars to warn Earth, and the American military quickly imprisoned him. And when Wonder Woman saw the threat, when Queen Hippolyta, her mother, wanted to maintain their secrecy and not get involved, Princess Diana, felt she had to safeguard the entire world, because knowing that would affect them as well. So that was that one, and it said written by Michael Teitelbaum. And he wrote most of these books. And he was an accomplished writer, primarily for media, junior novels like this, media tie-in novels. Is of course Justice League, and I guess he was an editor on a Spider-Man kids magazine which I vaguely remember, I think from the 80s. Could have been in the 90s. It's hard to remember that far back and know which decade things were in. When you get to be my age, anyway. It all kind of runs together. And this copy of Justice League Secret Origins, Michael Teitelbaum, it came with a free poster inside. The previous owner has removed it because I got it secondhand. And then this copy is a later printing of the same book. Okay. And I think this is the order that they came out in. And now these originally came out in 2002. So they ran for 2 years. So it was they started printing well into the first season of the show in Darkest Night, focusing primarily on Green Lantern. So it had Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and John Jones, the Martian Manhunter. Oh, this one says it's got a poster too. Let's see. Is the poster in there? Well, I'll be doggone. It is. Let's see what that is. Woo! Hawkgirl and Green Lantern. This is the John Stewart Green Lantern. And for a lot of the younger people, the series was their introduction to the Justice League as a whole, and these characters in particular. And this, yeah, as I said, focused on Green Lantern and Hawkgirl, sans Hawkman. It is considerably different from the comic book version. Of course, the Justice League of America is from DC Comics under that title. Starting in, what was it, 1958 or 59, maybe 60? I can't remember offhand now. But with Mike Sekowsky doing the artwork and Gardner Fox was the original writer. And it's run off and on in various incarnations ever since, under Justice League of America, then just Justice League with spin-offs like Justice League Europe and Justice League International, and then back to just Justice League. I like the title Justice League better than Justice League of America, because they're basically guardians of the entire world. And this one is written by Michael Jan Friedman. And of course, if you are a longtime comics reader, you may well be familiar with Michael Jan Friedman, who is an accomplished comic book writer and novelist. In the 80s and 90s, for DC, when DC was running Star Trek comics, Michael Jan Friedman was one of the regular writers on one of the titles. I can't remember which one, and also wrote many of the Star Trek novels at that time. And he is an accomplished novelist beyond just the media tie-in books. Then here's Wings of War. Again, by Michael Jan Friedman. This one focused primarily on Batman and Hawkgirl. They had to work together with some Superman, but they had to put aside their differences and styles to work together on a mission. And then The Gauntlet, written by Louise Simonson. And Louise Simonson is probably best known as the wife of Walt Simonson. Suddenly couldn't think of his name, but she is and has been quite accomplished in her own right. She used to be an editor at Warren Publishing uh, when they did Vampirella, creepy, eerie magazines, those horror magazines, and then she moved over to editorial in Marvel Comics. Then um, gave up her editorial duties to be a freelance writer, and has written many comics, working with her husband sometimes and not, many times over the decades. And then here we have Red Justice. This is, of course, this cover really shows the entire team working together, but the main focus is on the Flash. Of course, this is the Wally Wood Flash, not Barry Allen. And who was, and that Flash, he was voiced by Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex Luthor on Smallville. And I met him once at a convention, ran into him in the passageway. I was a Klingon, and he said, "Oh, like your stuff." And then he's ran into the Barbarians, my friends who were the Barbarians. And he goes, "Oh, wow, cool." And he just went gaga over them because there's a whole bunch of them walking down the passageway. And I said, gentlemen, you should take pride because you have just been complimented by Lex Luthor himself. And then we have A Golden Opportunity. This one focuses primarily on Superman, also by Michael Teitelbaum. This is, to my knowledge, this is the last one. There was one other which I do not have, which is Wild at Heart. Don't know who wrote that one. And they are quite enjoyable books. They're, of course, tied very closely to that original Justice League TV series. And was great fun reading. Now, in addition to that, some of them were adapted to audio books. Secret Origins, for sure, and the other one, Red Justice, the Flash one, which dealt with a team of Soviet-era superheroes who've been awakened from sleep, hibernation, and thinking that the Cold War was still on. And they were a menace until Justice League stopped them and then helped them because they were, as an imperfection in their hibernation process, was going to kill them, and they managed to save their lives. And then we never saw anything of them ever again. And those Russian characters were roughly equivalent to the Justice League characters. So those were the two audiobooks, which I really enjoy as well. If they made any more audio versions based on these books, I have not seen or heard anything of them, which is unfortunate. And I really enjoyed all of these books because the quality of writing was right there, along with the quality of writing for the series, for the TV series, which was much more mature during that era. Through the Batman, starting with Batman the Animated Series, through Superman, Justice League, etc. The quality of writing was vastly superior to anything that had gone before, any other animated series based on these characters before, and better than a lot of the quality of writing for live action prime time series of mini stripes. So that's all I've got for you this time on Bizarre Brain Comics. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Have you ever seen or read any of these books? Comment, let me know about it. If you've seen that one missing book, or if you've seen any other of these books on audio, well, let me know about that too. Because I would like to know if more were ever made. I just haven't seen any listed when I look for them. It's been a while, but they may be out there. I don't know. And remember, comics are art.